My name is Yahweh Padilla, and welcome to Yahweh on Natural Farm and Garden. Today we're going to talk about organic fertilizers and organic pesticides and your vegetable plants. Today we have these pepper plants. These ones are a few weeks old, and these ones they're only like a week and a half old. So at this stage they start needing feed. So we're gonna start putting some food. And these ones they need at least once a week. I've been putting like once or twice a week. So they're real good, healthy. They're ready to transplant.
And what kind of plants are those?
These are peppers. And this other one is tomato. Yeah, this is ready transplant. You know when they're ready when you push it a little bit from here in the back, and then you pull it, and they come out with the whole roots and soil. Okay? They come out with the shape of the tree. Okay. Another thing that I like to talk about is sprayers, because not everybody need one of those huge tractors, right? With a big sprayer,
yeah,
or a backpack, or that one. Well, sometimes I use these little ones, and they work real good when you have only a few trays. You don't need to mix a lot of fertilizer or pesticide. So one of these work real good. And the way that I mix it, I have this one here. I put water into like right there, and then I get a little piece of paper like this. I mean, you don't have to do all these. You find a funnel to do it. You can do it. I just put it like that. And then I mix it. I throw the seaweed. And for this little bottle, you don't have to put a lot, so you just put a little bit. And then this other one. And that's all I'm gonna use today. This is a real good one, but they stink. It's a fish. That one, if I open that bottle and I spray it, we gotta go outside.
So right now you said it's water and seaweed?
Seaweed and amino acid.
And this is a fertilizer or is it the pesticide?
This, the seaweed is a fertilizer, and the other one works like a fertilizer too. But this one is a seaweed, and these they help a little bit to repel the bug.
Oh.
And this one, when you spray in the plant and you spray it in the ground, if you have a real hard clay soil, they start breaking the soil and then making it real nice and smooth. So this is real good for the plants and for the soil, and the seaweed too. The seaweed is real good for the soil, but this one they don't make the soil soft. This one they just feed the plants in the ground. So the way that I do it is I shake it like that, and then I spray it. And if you have the plant real little, make sure you put a real nice fine mist like that. And then you just...
Can you move the fish fertilizer?
A what?
Can you move the fish fertilizer?
Oh yeah.
So they know that you're spraying something.
Yeah. Yeah, you do it like that. That's all they need.
And is this something that you provide?
Yes, we have it here. So if anybody want to buy it, we can sell it here. Now, the reason we sell it like this. And the reason we sell it like this is because you don't need a lot. But the place where they sell it, they don't sell little bags like that. They sell a 50-pound bag, and there's like $250 to $300. So what we do is we break the big bag and put it in the little bag, and then we just make the numbers to sell it for whatever we pay. And the same thing with the seaweed. The seaweed does the same thing. This one, this fish, and this they sell it in a gallon, so in the little bottles like this. This is 1 gallon, and this is a quart. You don't need a lot. If you have a small garden in your house or a few plants, you just need that one. Yeah.
So like with the seaweed, would you be able to just go to the beach and dry out? Or
and dry it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna need a lot. Yeah. So, and this is not real expensive, because you buy it, one little bag, it probably lasts you for a whole season or even more sometimes if you don't use a lot, if you don't have a big garden. So, because you don't need a lot to spray. This is concentrate, it's pure.
Okay.
If you there's places where they sell it diluted in water, but this diluted. This is pure. You don't need a lot. Yeah. So you can do the spray. If you got the trays like this, you can use these. If you have your garden outside and you only have like 10 plants, you can do it with a little one like that. Or one of these. These they work real good. And this one you do the same thing. I like to mix when I'm gonna use one of those or this one. I like to make the mix in a bucket. In a bucket like this, and then I use this paint mixer with a drill, and I mix it real good. Because some things they like fish, they don't mix real good, or the neem oil. The neem oil you need to add a little bit of something else like soap or I use the garlic oil, and they help to mix it together.
It's called a emulsifier.
Yeah, emulsifier.
Emulsifier. You need a soap to help.
You need soap to make the oil to mix in the water, because oil and water they don't mix natural. But when you add soap, then they mix real good. And they sell organic soap. It's something that you can find.
So like when you spray them, do you spray just the ground, or you also spray the leaves?
You like in the feed is foliar, is in the leaves, but whatever they fall on the floor, they still help the plant.
Okay.
Yeah, but you want to spray the leaves. Yeah. Now this is the feed. Now there's a lot of more. This is just what we have here and what I use the most. But there's so many different types. There's another one they call chili nitrate, and there's like nitrogen, but they're organic, and that one worked real good too. We don't have that one right now, but there's so many different ones. There's another one they call neem cake. It's more like a powder or pellet, and you can put it too. And then we're gonna jump to the pesticide. So once in a while you're gonna find some worms or little bugs in your garden, and especially if you have greens. They love greens, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, worms, they love that. So you're gonna do the feeding, and you're gonna help to prevent those worms to eat your plants. But sometimes they get real bad, and you're gonna find a few. If you don't have a lot of plants, you can do it by hand, remove it by hand every morning. But if you have 10 or 15 plants, you're gonna spend some time, so it's better to spray something. And in the spray to prevent that, or to take care of that, we got these 4 different things that I like to use. This is garlic oil. This is neem oil. And this is diatomaceous syrup. This is powder. And then this one is a bacillus bacteria. And this is the best, but the most expensive one. So I try to use the cheapest one first, and then if I don't take care of the problem with the cheapest one, then I use this one. Or I try to don't use a lot of these because it's really expensive. These little bags is almost $100. Yeah.
And you said that these are organic?
That's certified organic, yes. Yeah, this is a bacteria and it's organic. Certified organic. This one too, and neem oil too. And this one is even edible. This one is it's good for the animals, and some people they even eat it. They don't taste bad, and they don't kill you. It's good. It's good stuff, and it actually tastes good. They don't have a bad flavor. This is for horses, dogs, chickens, cows, pigs, all kinds of animals.
How would you use it for the pets?
Well, you just mix it a little bit in the food or in water. But that's a little bit difficult to make the dog like drink the water, because they're gonna find this different color or whatever. They're not gonna drink it. But if you mix it in the food, they eat it.
Is it a natural dewormer?
Yeah, this is a natural dewormer, and they work real good for especially like goats and chickens, pigs. Yeah, they work real good. Cows too.
Nice.
I never tried in dogs, but in all the other animals I try and they work. Yeah.
And like this is a powder, do you just like, you're throwing it on the ground or you're mixing it with?
Okay, when you're gonna spray or when you're gonna put the plants, this depends what you got. If you got plants like these ones, well, what I do a lot of the times is I spray the feed, and then if I have a few trays, I just get a handful of little powder and I just put it in the top. They're gonna stick in the leaves because the leaves are wet. Now, these they work real good for whitefly, and we have a lot of whitefly here, especially after they harvest the cotton. Oh man, the gardens they get full of whitefly. So what I like to do with this one is I get a bucket like this, and then I put it like maybe like a little over a half of water, and then I start adding. I add like a cup or 2 cups of powder, then I mix it real good. And then if I think it's too thin, too diluted, then I add a little more. And then they usually take like 2 or 3 cups for a half a bucket. And then I put it in the sprayer and I spray. These they're not gonna hurt the plant. You can put a lot and they're not gonna hurt the plant. But they plug the sprayers. So you have to kind of find the right amount. That way you don't plug the sprayer. And mixing it real good, that's the best way. You get one of these pen mixers, and with a power drill, you mix it real fast, and then you pour it into the sprayer, and then you go ahead and spray. Now, you gotta be ready to spray, because if you put your liquid here in the sprayer, and then you have something else to do, and you go and do it and come back and you're trying to spray it, it's not gonna work. They're gonna plug the nozzle of this. You gotta be ready and do it right away. Another thing, and that's really important, when you're gonna spray any of these products, try to do it early in the morning or late in the afternoon. Don't try to do it in the middle of the day, because especially when it's real hot, the neem can burn the little leaves of the plant, because there's oil. And oil with the heat, you can kill your plant. Yeah, and neem you don't use a lot, but when the plants are real little like these, that's easy to kill it. Yeah. So early in the morning, and especially the feed of these the products to feed the plants, early in the morning is the best way, because the plant is still absorbing all the nutrients from the environment, and you spray the feed and they capture all the good stuff. Yeah, and the afternoon is good when the sun is not like real strong. You can spray too, but that's better in the morning, early in the morning.
And like the fertilizer mix, how long does that last?
Oh, these they never go bad.
Oh, that's
You don't want, because they're natural stuff. You don't want to mix like a lot of fish because they stink, and this is pure. But like the seaweed and the amino acid, they don't go bad. They last you a month or more. I never mix a lot, but they last a long time. Yeah, 2-3 weeks. I don't think it go bad.
But it's better if you just mix.
Yeah, it's better if you just mix whatever you're gonna use. Yeah, but if let's say you mix these and I only have these many plants, well, I spray these today, I spray it like next week, and if I still have these, well, I go outside and I spray my flowers or whatever bushes I have in the garden around the house, and then the next time I use a fresh one, because this is good for any plants, any trees. Yeah, it's good stuff.
And how often do you have to spray?
I like to do it when they're little like these, once a week. When they're like bigger like this size, I like to do it at least twice or 3 times a week. Because these ones they require more feed now. These ones that actually need soil already. See they don't have more space to grow roots. These ones you put it in the ground, and if you notice, they start growing roots in the top because this is not enough. So they're trying to look for more soils to grow, to support the plant to keep growing. So these ones we put it in the field, and we usually put it in the field, and then the next day, or sometimes even the same day, we spray these. That way they help the plant don't get shot from the transplant. Yeah.
And is it the same thing with the pesticide?
Pesticide now. The pesticide I try to use it when I start seeing signs of some kind of bug, then I go and do it. But I prefer to just do the feeding, and then if I see some problem, then I use the pesticides. Not because they're bad, because these things they don't hurt nothing. But if you don't have to use it, why you want to use it? You save some money if you don't have to use it. Like last year we only spray one time these because only one time they get the worm real bad in the cabbage and the broccoli, and that's it. And there are some years that, I mean, you spray. We have one bad year. They're always spraying these at least twice a month because it was real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was in the cabbage, broccoli, and lettuce. Those are the plants that they like the most, the worms. Yeah. Now the squash and all that, they're not too bad. Yeah, you don't get a lot of these bugs. You're gonna get a lot of the cucumber beetle and all those. And for those, you use this one or the garlic.
And how long does the pesticide last?
Just depend how many days without rain you have.
Oh, okay.
If you spray in the morning and rain in the afternoon or the noon, the next day you need to spray again. Yeah, these they don't stay too long in the plant, especially here we get a lot during the night, so they kind of rinse the leaves, so you have to do a little more. But if you don't have a real bad problem, you don't need to spray a lot.
And like when the bugs get them, do they die right there, or they just take it back and then they usually die off?
Well, this one and the well, almost all of it, but these two they usually eat it because there's oil. They eat it and they keep eating until they die. They usually die in the plant. Yeah, and sometimes you even find it in there, the plant there. But they don't kill it. Like if you can spray the bug like that, and if they don't eat these, they don't die. So that's why you put it in the plant, and then when the worm eat the plant, then they die. Same thing with these. And this one, it's the same thing, but this one they stay a little longer in the plant. Yeah, they probably like 2 days. So you got a little more chances the more worms eat that. Yeah.
So which fertilizer would you use if you wanted more flowers?
Flowers, the potassium, like this one, I don't know exactly how much the seaweed have, but this one, they have the 5 as nitrogen, and then potassium and phosphorus and potassium. Those 2 numbers is the one that you want when they're flowering. Not nitrogen. Nitrogen is just to grow. The other 2 is for flowers or for produce. Now, this is good for like greens or stuff like that on flower, because like lettuce or Swiss chard or collard green, you just want greens. You don't want flowers. So this number, the number 5, the first number is good because there's high nitrogen. Those plants, they require more nitrogen than the other ones, the other numbers. Yeah.
Now the other day you also talked about using chicken manure. Would it be the same thing turning to spray or?
No, chicken manure is kind of like a powder or pellet type.
Oh.
So that one is more to put it straight in the ground. Yeah, that one you don't want to put it in the leaves, and they don't dilute real good in the water. And if you try to dilute it, make sure you do it outside because they stink real bad. That's even worse than the chicken. Than
The fish.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you make a mistake and you spray yourself with this sprayer, then you gotta go take a shower and wash clothes. Yeah.
And what about like other animals? Does it like help ward them off, the smell?
No, the fish is the only one that they smell, and the fish I only like to apply in the little plant. Like in the lettuce ones, you have big plants that you kind of harvest. You don't want to put any of that stuff, and I usually don't put any of these. The only one that I put when it's like the second cut, when I cut the lettuce and then I'm gonna cut it again. Well, as soon as I cut it, I apply a little bit of seaweed and the amino acid, and that's it. Then in 2 weeks I can do another harvest.
But you can use the garlic oil for pesticide,
Yeah.
because of the smell, right?
They repel the bug. There's another one they make with peppers, real hot peppers, and they work too. But I don't have that one. I don't use any of that. But I've seen people that they use it and they say they work. But this one and the neem oil and this one, these things work. Yeah. Now the seaweed and the amino acid, if you see a little problem with a few worms and you want to spend the money and spray with these, you can mix these 3 together and you feed the plant and protect it. And I like the seaweed I usually spray the seaweed almost in everything. The seaweed, they live, if you notice in these plants, you see they start drying, and you see how they dry and they stay in the leaf. Well, any worms that they try to eat that leaf, they're gonna find the flavor of the seaweed or whatever else you spray, they walk away. They don't like that. They want fresh, clean leaves without anything. Just leaves. Yeah.
So the healthier the plant, the less chances you're gonna have of pests.
Yes. When you start your plants, like from this stage, you make the mix and you plant your seed, and then you get the little sprout, and then you have the first leaves. So you want to start feeding this plant to make it real healthy. Because if a healthy plant don't get the seeds so easy, or bugs, the bugs that usually attack the weak plants, not the strong ones. Yeah. Unless there's a real bad situation, sometimes there's a lot of worms everywhere, then they attack everything. But if your plants are real healthy, they're gonna stay away from your plants. Yeah. So you try to protect it first with a prevention, and then if you get some problem, well, you kind of fix it with the pesticide.
And have you ever heard of, because I've seen online where they talk about putting eggshells around the plant to prevent the critters? Is that really?
I don't never do that, but the eggshells, there's calcium that's good for the plants in the soil. Yeah, eggshells, the only thing is that if you're gonna do something like that in the garden, make sure you collect your eggshells and heat it before you use it in the garden, or decompose it. I mean, you can put it in the compost pile, and with the heat they decompose and they kill any bacteria. But if you don't want to put it in the compost, just put it in the microwave or put it in the oven for like 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. They're not going to hurt the eggshell, and then you crush it and you put it in the garden. That's a good and easy way to do it without kind of risk your plants, because if you put bacteria into your plants, you don't know what the eggs are. And especially if you save it, if you get let's say 1 pound of eggshell from one day that they use all those eggs in that day, it's good. But if you save those for next week, and then next week you have more, you're gonna have chances that you can have bacteria in there. You don't want to put that bacteria into your garden. So a good way is you save it, you put it in the microwave, or you put it in the oven, and with the heat you kill any bacteria, any stuff that's there, and then you get the good stuff, the calcium. And a lot of people, they make the eggshell, they dry it real good in the oven or in the microwave, and then they put it in the blender and they make like powder. And that's the best way for the plants to absorb the calcium, because this is small, the particles, they're real small, so the plant absorbs that more easy.
Are there any other natural things like the eggshells that you could use
For calcium,
or anything?
yeah, for calcium you can use banana peels, and you can do the same thing.
Potassium?
I think, it's potassium. Yeah, but potassium, you need potassium too, especially for tomato. If you use banana peels, you do the same thing. You can save it, and then you put it in the oven or on the microwave and kind of dry. You have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate the peels. You peel your bananas and you save it, and then you dehydrate it, you grind it, and then you put it in the plants. Now, if you don't want to do all that, just make a little compost pile and start adding all those things in there, and turn the compost pile. That way they cook everything, and then you add the compost to your plants.
Now, like on the pesticides, anything that you plant where like I guess like little bees or something would try to get at the plant, would it affect those kind of?
They're not okay. Yes, this depends how you. That's why it's a good thing to do early, because like especially when there's a lot of flowers, bees they're gonna be in the garden, so you don't want to kill the bees. But if you do it early in the morning, the bees they're not working yet. The bees they usually work with the light, and if you notice, almost all the flowers they open when the sun come up. So that's when the bees they get in there. So you spray before, even if there's flowers in there, you're not gonna kill it because you're not gonna spray directly to the bees. Yeah. Oils, the oil and like these, you can kill bees with these, but only if you spray direct into the bee. Yeah, but if you spray early, they're not gonna be bees in the garden. So. Another one that you don't want to kill it is the ladybug.
Okay.
Ladybug is your best friends in the garden. So we try to, when we see it, we bring some produce and they come in the produce, we kind of collect it and take it back to the garden because they work for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those they eat aphids, they eat all kinds of little bugs, and they can clean your garden real good.
Nice.
Yeah. So those they work when the sun is out too. They don't work in the night. You see it after the sun come out, you're gonna see it in the leaves looking for food. So if you spray early or late, you don't affect the good guys. Yeah. The bad guys they eat all the time. Those guys they eat in the sun and not in the sun. Yeah. The aphids is real bad because the aphids they go underneath the leaves. So when you spray, let's say you spray kale and you just spray in the top, you're not gonna do anything to the aphids because they're underneath. So you gotta go and I like this sprayer because when I have the kale, I just get this sprayer like that and I spray underneath the leaves and get the aphids. Aphids you can kill it with just soap and water, or you can add like a little bit of oil, but soap and water work pretty good for aphids.